I'm on 2321.
Good morning, everyone. Robert Moses here in the Fox 5 newsroom. Glad to have you with us. We're on this morning with breaking news. An NYPD officer, we're told a male NYPD officer, was shot this morning right around 9 o'clock near the Whitestone Expressway and 22nd Road in the Whitestone section of Queens. Sources tell me that this male officer luckily is alert and conscious. He was shot in the arm and leg. The perpetrator, the alleged gunman, untold, is now in custody. I'm also told that the perpetrator has a lengthy rap sheet to his name. He has assaulted an officer in the past. He's also been charged with robbery in the past. In fact, sources tell me that he was arrested just yesterday, just one day before allegedly shooting this NYPD officer. No further information on the officer's condition, but we do know that he is alert and conscious. Mayor Eric Adams did have a news conference scheduled for 10:30 this morning at City Hall in the City Hall Rotunda. That news conference has now been postponed until this afternoon. The mayor is headed to the hospital to visit the officer and presumably to address the media to talk about what has happened. You can see this is our live ground shot here right near the intersection of 22nd Road and Whitestone Expressway. It looks like, again, sort of reading some of the tea leaves here, if you look at the faces of these officers, we have seen some smiles in the last couple of minutes, which is good. That this looks as though the police officer is going to be fine. We can also take our chopper, Skyfox, is overhead as well. There you see, I guess that's the Whitestone Expressway, and you can see the police response just off of the expressway there. And one of the things I always look for whenever you have these major incidents, the white shirts on the scenes, the bosses, the high-ranking officers who rush to the scene. Just to recap, the story is around an hour or so old, right before 9 o'clock this morning. We're being told that a male NYPD officer was shot in his arm and leg. right near the intersection of the Whitestone Expressway and 22nd Road, Whitestone section, Queens. He was taken to the hospital and told he's alert and conscious. The mayor is on his way to the hospital. He was briefed on the situation. This is the 109th precinct, Whitestone, fairly residential area. From my experience out there, single-family homes usually in this area. Stately homes, you can see there on this block. I think that is 22nd Road that we're looking at potentially, but I can't really make out that street sign. Okay, thank you, Dave. So 21st Road is just a block away. You can kind of see the street sign there. Told this happened around 22nd Road near the Whitestone Expressway, just off the Whitestone Expressway. Give me a second. Check some notes here. I had mentioned that the Mayor Eric Adams, had a fairly highly anticipated news conference scheduled for about 35 minutes from now, 10:30 at City Hall. I say highly anticipated because a couple of his associates have been embroiled in major controversy and legal troubles over these last couple of days. His longtime advisor, Ingrid Lewis Martin, faced 4 new indictments yesterday, so he was going to likely get questioned about that this morning at the news conference, in addition to this crazy story about one of his fundraisers, Winnie Greco, giving a reporter a red envelope of cash stuffed inside of a bag of potato chips. Likely would have been asked about that as well. All of that, though, now on hold until this afternoon because the mayor is headed to the hospital to check on this NYPD officer who was shot just before 9 this morning in Whitestone. And luckily is alert and conscious. Okay. We will continue our coverage here and also on the Fox local app as soon as Good Day New York goes off the air in just a couple minutes. So we'll continue our coverage across all these platforms. But again, just to recap before we do that, around an hour or so ago, an NYPD officer, male NYPD officer, no word on how long he's been on the force. He was shot in his arm and leg right near the intersection of Whitestone Expressway and 22nd Road. He is alert and conscious. The mayor's on his way to the hospital to check on the officer.
Bill,
the
did you get
perpetrator
that?
is in custody. He has a very long
Bill,
rap sheet.
Did you get that?
I don't know. Can we go back?
That was the cop's holster right there.
I saw I think I saw
Just walked over the holster.
yeah, so it, I don't know if that, would that, do you think that might have been the officer's gun belt, potentially?
I know.
Okay. Just talking off camera here, we were looking at, we just had a shot of 10 seconds or so ago of an officer carrying what looked to be a gun belt from the scene. So I don't know if that was the injured officer's gun belt or was it related to the shooting, but obviously the evidence collection is underway here. Our cameras at the scene are making all the pictures we can. I would expect an update from the mayor. Typically, the way these things play out is once the mayor gets to the hospital, he will meet with the officer and his family members who are there, and then brief the media alongside. Typically, Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch. I should also add that the police commissioner this morning was at the U.S. Open giving some sort of security briefing. So she wouldn't have that far to go from the media briefing at the U.S. Open, that security briefing at the U.S. Open, to the scene here. I'm sure she would be getting briefed minute by minute, second by second. In a few seconds, we will be heading to the Fox local app as well once Good Day New York goes off the air. And we'll do maybe a quick reset. You can also, maybe we can queue up that, maybe hear from the witness in a second. We'll get, I'll do a little reset here at the top of the hour. And then we can hear from this witness about what happened. Looking at a live picture of 22nd Road and the Whitestone Expressway. So now it is 10 o'clock and we are, okay, so we're just at, okay. So we will, we'll reset here in a couple seconds and then we'll hear from, Robert Moses again here on Fox 5 News. I'm glad you're with us, although we join you with a serious breaking news update here. Around 9 o'clock this morning, just before 9, sources tell me that a male NYPD officer was shot in his arm and leg right near the intersection of 22nd Road and Whitestone Expressway, the Whitestone section of Queens. This is the 109th precinct. That perpetrator, the alleged gunman, is now in custody according to sources. He has a lengthy rap sheet, including for assaulting an officer and robbery. He, I'm told, was just arrested yesterday. So the circumstances of what he was arrested for yesterday, why he was out on the street today able to commit this crime, that will all come out. But suffice it to say, sources say this is a criminal with a lengthy rap sheet. Right around 9 o'clock, police officer shot in the 109th precinct. He has been taken to the hospital. The mayor is en route to the hospital, and he has been briefed on the situation. On his way to the hospital, the mayor did have a 10:30 news conference scheduled at City Hall to address, we think, the new indictments against his longtime chief advisor that came down yesterday. That 10:30 news conference has now been postponed until this afternoon for obvious reasons. The mayor now are we good now? Okay. We are, I've just told you couldn't hear me, so let me go back and kind of reset as you look at this live picture. Just before 9 o'clock this morning, an NYPD officer was shot right near the intersection of 22nd Road and the Whitestone Expressway. He was shot in his arm and his leg. He is expected to recover. He is alert and conscious, according to sources. The perpetrator, the alleged gunman, is in custody. The perp has a long rap sheet, sources tell me, for assaulting an officer, for robbery, among other offenses, and in fact, he was just arrested yesterday. So how he was out on the street today to commit this crime, that will all come out. Now I want to point you, this officer here is carrying both of these officers are carrying gun belts. Not clear if one of these belts belongs to the injured officer. We don't know that. Those are as this is so rightly being pointed out, evidence techs are now taking possession of those two gun belts. So you can see he's wearing gloves, obviously. He wants to preserve the integrity of those belts. Looks like both belts there have holstered guns on them, so obviously part of the investigation here. I mentioned that the mayor is, let me just check and see, last check he was en route to the hospital. I don't know if he has arrived there yet, but he has been briefed on this situation. And as of 15 minutes ago, he was heading to the hospital. And he says he will provide additional updates as the investigation continues. So the more exact address for this incident is Whitestone Expressway, the service road. So we can see it's just off the Whitestone Expressway and 21st Road. So service road of the Whitestone and 21st Road. This is in the 109th precinct. Don't know yet if this male officer who was shot and injured is assigned to the 109th precinct. We don't know anything about his how long he's been on the force yet, but we do know male NYPD officer shot in his arm and leg, will survive, according to sources. Perpetrator's in custody. Perpetrator has a very lengthy rap sheet. The mayor is en route to the hospital. I want to, if we can, play some sound from one of the witnesses we spoke to at the scene. I don't know if our photographer Mauro Bertoli, who's at the scene, spoke to him or someone else did, but I want to just play this, what this witness had to say about the shooting in Whitestone around an hour or so ago.
I think it was like a knife, apparently. Okay, but apparently later on, I'm about to tell you, they had more. As soon as the cops come in, because he's like right in front of like the car, the cop car's already coming. He's just like, yo, get in, let's go get this guy. They zoom off. More cops go by. A minute later, I hear something that sounds like gunshots, but it's something long, something sophisticated sounding. And then I was like, you heard that? My dad's talking to another pedestrian. No, he didn't notice it. I heard it, and I think I knew what it was. And then I checked the Citizens app, and then yes, it confirms there was someone that got shot later, and it was an officer. Originally for something because someone's car was stolen.
Do you live close to that house?
It was right in front of my house when I saw the victim.
Do you know the person
I don't know who he is.
Okay.
No, the person who lives there is us. But it was outside our house. We came outside, heard the noise outside our house.
Okay, the address that we got called to is your house?
No, the site of the carjacking was probably somewhere down here. The victim probably ran for help to the direction of where our house was, and that's where my father and I encountered him while the cops tried to get him.
You actually saw the man?
We saw the victim, yes.
And we got here a little bit late. Can you just describe what you heard? What did you hear right off the top? You said you heard screams?
I was in bed. It woke some screaming of this victim. Woke me up. I thought nothing of it at first because I thought it was construction. Because we always get that here and like whatever, construction, garbage, it's garbage day. I thought it was that. And then but it's like more persistent and loud. So my dad opens the door to see what's up. And then it's this poor victim, this poor Asian guy got his car stolen. And then I think he said something about weapon. And just in the nick of time too, the cops come and pick him up to go get the suspect. And then a little bit after that, I heard something loud, like heavy. And then I thought it was gunshots. And then my father didn't hear it. He was talking to someone else, he didn't hear it either. But then I later see on the app that the officer was involved in a shooting.
So, and when you said victim, you're talking about the guy whose car was stolen. Okay. Did you actually see the man?
I did not see it. No.
Shot?
No.
Okay.
All right, so you were just listening to a witness who says he lives in the house right where this unfolded. He seemed to suggest that this started as a result of a carjacking, perhaps. That not confirmed, but what we do have confirmed is that as of around 9 o'clock this morning, an NYPD officer shot in his arm and his leg, taken to Jamaica Hospital, which is where the mayor is headed right now. The officer is expected to survive. We see at this point, we see someone who is limping toward the squad car we'll follow him. It looked like he had some blood splattered on his shirt. It looks like there's maybe that's just an insignia there, but I don't know what this gentleman's connection is, if any, to this story, but he is clearly he's being escorted by police there, so they want to talk to him. He is somehow connected to this shooting. We just don't know how. If you're just joining us, I'll reset as we look at this live picture from 21st Road and the Whitestone Expressway Service Road. Police officer shot in his arm and leg right around 9 o'clock this morning. Taken to Jamaica Hospital. He is expected to survive. The perpetrator, who sources tell me has a long rap sheet for offenses including assaulting an officer and robbery, is in custody. We don't know the circumstances that led up to this shooting, although we just did hear from a witness who suggested that it may have been a carjacking. Now, this is not live that you're looking at. This is a taped shot of the NYPD helicopter over the scene. Now, the shooter, the alleged shooter, is in custody. Now, in theory, we don't know. The NYPD could be looking for accomplices. We don't know anything about that, but the alleged shooter, I'm told, is in custody. So that chopper could be overhead, either looking for another person or people who he was with, or may just be looking for evidence in the area. That's unclear. Let me look again here. The mayor, at last check, was headed to Jamaica Hospital. That was as of 17 or 18 minutes ago. Jessica Tisch, the police commissioner, had been holding a briefing about security preparations at the U.S. Open. So U.S. Open is not that far from the shooting scene here or Jamaica Hospital. So, and obviously, given her position with lights and sirens, she can be at either place very quickly. Just checking here. You are looking at a live picture from 21st Road and the Whitestone Expressway Service Road. The mayor, we had been expecting to hear from the mayor at 10:30 at City Hall. We were expecting him to discuss the new indictments against his longtime associate Ingrid Lewis Martin. He would have certainly been peppered with questions about that, and also would have been asked about the allegations facing one of his fundraisers, Winnie Greco, who is accused of handing a reporter an envelope filled with cash in a bag of potato chips. So this has not been a good week for the mayor, who polls show is in a distant fourth place in the mayoral race. So that 10:30 news conference at City Hall likely would have been focused mostly on the legal travails of his associates. That news conference has been postponed, given what has happened in Whitestone. We're told that that news conference that had been planned for this morning at City Hall will now be taking place this afternoon. The mayor, presumably before that, will brief the media from Jamaica Hospital about the shooting that has injured this NYPD officer in the 109th precinct. Still a very busy scene. I'm trying to see if I see any or noteworthy figures there at the scene. You know, one obvious point to make here is the size of the response. The breadth of the response here, what you would expect if an NYPD officer is shot. We don't know if this officer was on or off duty. We also don't know if he was in fact assigned to the 109th precinct. This gives you a live look from our chopper. We're going to alternate between ground and aerial shots. Sometimes you get a nice perspective from the air that you can't get from the ground. This is just adjacent to the Whitestone Expressway. You can see a residential neighborhood. As I had noted earlier, Whitestone is sort of lots of single-family homes in Whitestone. You don't see many apartment buildings there. It's more single-family homes. A witness tells us that this might all stem from a carjacking. We don't have that confirmed yet from police, but certainly the response here is massive. We are still waiting for word from that the mayor has arrived at the hospital. As I check for any kind of updates here.
We really need to get more of this gathered. The witnesses are starting to talk.
So,
We
stay on the chopper?
Is that would help?
That's what I'm on
let's
right
see.
now.
Oh, yeah, the door's shut. I'll just make the call. It's fine, thank you.
So, just to reset, about an hour and 15 minutes ago, male NYPD officer shot in his arm and leg near the intersection of 21st Road and the Whitestone Expressway Service Road. Shot in his arm and leg. He is expected to survive. That's the good news. The perpetrator, the alleged gunman, is in custody. Sources tell me that this gunman has a lengthy rap sheet for offenses including assaulting an officer as well as robbery, and he was just arrested yesterday. We don't know what he was arrested for yesterday, but we know he was arrested yesterday. And that, of course, begs the question, why was he out on the street able to shoot a police officer?
Robert, we're going to take you off of Fox Local, but you're going to stay on YouTube for a bit.
Okay, so we are going to be leaving Fox Local. We'll continue our coverage for a few minutes on YouTube.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to continue watching any updates, come over to YouTube.
Yeah, bye.
All right. And let's do a quick reset.
All right, we're going to do it now whenever you're ready.
Okay, we can.
All right, we'll be moving over to YouTube.
Okay, we are now heading over to YouTube, so join us there.
All right.
Hopefully this can be our newsroom on it.
Yeah. Did they want to clear Morrow shot? Was that what Jeff was
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about?
yeah.
So we could just stay with Chopper? for
Yeah, we
now?
can stay with Chopper for
Okay.
now. Here, Robert, I'll let you reset.
Okay.
And so we're
Kills Mike.
Yeah. Mike's hot. Go ahead.
All right, good morning, everyone. 10:20 here in the Fox 5 newsroom. I'm Robert Moses with some breaking news. Right about 9 o'clock this morning in the Whitestone section of Queens, a male NYPD officer was shot in his arm and leg. He is expected to survive. That's the good news. He was taken to Jamaica Hospital. He is alert and conscious. The mayor is en route, at last check, to the hospital to not only see the officer and any of his family and loved ones who might be there, but also to brief the media. I should also say that the mayor was planning on having a news conference at 10:30 at City Hall today. That news conference has been postponed until later in the afternoon. We don't have an exact time at this point, but sometime later in the afternoon. And we will be hearing from the mayor before that from Jamaica Hospital on this shooting. The police officer shot in his arm and leg. He is alert and conscious. That's the good news. The perpetrator is in custody. Sources tell me this perp has a lengthy rap sheet even before today for assaulting an officer and for robbery, among other offenses, and he was arrested just yesterday, according to sources. We don't know why what he had been arrested for yesterday, what the circumstances were, why he was able to be out on the street to commit this offense, but that will all certainly be a focus of this investigation. He is in custody. One thing we haven't found out yet, we have seen an NYPD helicopter, at least one NYPD helicopter, hovering over the scene, which could mean that police officers are searching for an accomplice or accomplices. We just don't know if this shooter acted alone or if he had help. We heard from a witness earlier this morning who says he lives in the area, who suggested that this all started as a result of a carjacking, and that's why this officer got involved and why he was shot right around 9 o'clock. So we are waiting for an update from the mayor from Jamaica Hospital. Typically, as these things play out, the mayor will go to the hospital, meet with top NYPD brass, talk to medical personnel there, meet with the officer himself, check in on him, make sure he's doing okay given the circumstances, and then the mayor, along with top NYPD officials, union officials, will then brief the media. The police commissioner had been giving her own news conference, unrelated topic, at the U.S. Open on security preparations for the U.S. Open. So that's not far from this scene, not far from Jamaica Hospital, and one would presume that once she is done with her obligations at the U.S. Open, if not before, she would make her way very quickly to the hospital to herself check on this officer.
You can replay the witness if you want.
Yeah, let's do that. I had mentioned that we spoke to a witness who lives in this area. He suggested that this all started as a result of a carjacking. So let's hear. We'll hear from that witness here in a second. Perhaps on the circumstances surrounding this. Let's listen to the witness and then we'll chat a bit afterwards.
Okay, but apparently later on, I'm about to tell you, they had more. As soon as the cops come in, because he's like right in front of like the car, the cop car's already coming. He's just like, yo, get in, let's go get this guy. They zoom off. More cops go by. A minute later, I hear something that sounds like gunshots, but it's something long, something sophisticated sounding. And then I was like, you heard that? My dad's talking to another pedestrian. No, he didn't notice it. I heard it, and I think I knew what it was. And I checked the Citizens app, and then yes, it confirms there was someone that got shot later, and it was an officer. Originally for something because someone's car was stolen.
Do you live close to that house?
It was right in front of my house when I saw the victim.
Do you know the person?
I don't know who
lives
he
there?
is. The person who lives there is us, but it was outside our house. We came outside, heard the noise outside our house.
Okay, the address that we got called to is your house?
No, the site of the carjacking was probably somewhere down here. The victim probably ran for help to the direction of where our house was, and that's where my father and I encountered him while the cops tried to get him.
You actually saw the man?
We saw the victim, yes.
And we got here a little bit late. Can you just describe what you heard? What did you hear right off the top? You said you heard screams?
I was in bed. Some screaming of this victim woke me up. I thought nothing of it at first because I thought it was construction. We always get that here, and like whatever, construction, garbage, it's garbage day. I thought it was that, and then it's like more persistent and loud. So my dad opens the door to see what's up, and then it's just poor victim, this poor Asian guy got his car stolen, and then I think he said something about weapon, and just in the nick of time too, the cops come and pick him up to go get the suspect, and then a little bit after that, I heard something loud, like heavy, and then I thought it was gunshots, and then my father didn't hear it. He was talking to someone else, he didn't hear it either, but then I later see on the app that an officer was involved in a shooting.
So, and when you said victim, you're talking about the guy whose car was stolen. Did you actually see the man?
I did not see it, no.
You
heard shots, though?
Last name.
Alex Lawak.
Okay, how do you spell it?
ALEX.
All right, so we are back live here in the Fox 5 newsroom. We were just listening to a witness who lives in Whitestone, and he described hearing screams this morning. He said it's garbage day. He's like, there's always construction going on in this area, but he realized that something much different was happening this morning, and so he says that a carjacking, what he describes as an Asian man in the area, had his car stolen, and that's what precipitated this shooting right at near the intersection of 21st Road and the Whitestone Expressway Service Road. And just 8 minutes ago, the NYPD posted on X, due to an active police investigation, avoid the area of the Service Road and 21st Road within the confines of the 109th precinct. So if you are traveling through this area, if you have loved ones traveling through this area, make sure they're aware of that. This shooting scene just off the Whitestone Expressway in a residential neighborhood. We've been monitoring this story now for about an hour and a half or so. Male NYPD officer shot in his arm and leg in Whitestone this morning. The perpetrator is in custody, according to sources. He has a long rap sheet for assaulting an officer and robbery, among other offenses. I'm told he was arrested just yesterday. Why he was on the street today to commit this, at the very least, the shooting of an NYPD officer and perhaps more, that's all to be determined, to be released later on. Not sure. There's a lot we don't know at this point. Still, we will get more information, likely from a briefing at Jamaica Hospital later on this morning.
I could do some tape.
Do you want to show some ground shots? Okay. As I'm talking, we can also. So this is. We'll go to some taped, some recorded footage that we have from earlier, just giving you a sense of what the scene looks like from the ground. Not only the massive police response, but also the FDNY response and the bosses, the officers in the white shirts there. Those are high-ranking NYPD officers who often rush to these scenes en masse when something like this has occurred. You can see the proximity to the Whitestone Expressway itself there. Luckily, though, there's a couple things to be grateful here about. First of all, the most important thing is that this male officer, is alert and conscious. And also, the perpetrator, the alleged gunman, is in custody. Now, whether police will take any others into custody, that's to be determined. This is now a live picture from Skyfox over the scene. You were just seeing some recorded footage. This is live of the area that's cordoned off here in this residential neighborhood in Whitestone. Just looking at some of our other monitors there. As at last check, the mayor had been headed to Jamaica Hospital. I would imagine that he is there. And typically what happens is the mayor gets to the hospital and meets with not only medical personnel there, the officer himself, any loved ones, talks to NYPD brass, and then will address the media and talk about the circumstances surrounding the shooting. You can't ignore the fact that this is, of course, an election year. The mayor is polling in a very distant fourth place behind Republican Curtis Sliwa, former Governor Andrew Cuomo, and State Assemblyman Zoran Mamdani. And anytime something like this happens, it raises the issue of crime in the city, and nothing, especially in an election year, no crime occurs in a vacuum. And so this will be a campaign issue regardless. We just can't ignore the fact with the election coming in November. And the mayor, a former police officer himself, longtime police officer himself, knows these situations all too well. They never get easy to go to the hospital and see an injured officer, but luckily it appears as though, from what we can gather, this officer was taken alert and conscious to Jamaica Hospital and is going to recover. That's the good news. We don't obviously want to minimize what led up to this. It appears as though, according to the witness that we just played for you a couple minutes ago, that the witness says that this was some kind of carjacking that precipitated this. He says that it occurred right near his home, and he says that a man, the victim in this case, had his car stolen, and that's what led up to this shooting. We did capture a man being escorted from the scene. Clearly looked shaken. He was limping a little bit. He was being escorted by an officer on either side of him. So whether he was the man whose car was stolen, we don't know. But we did see a man who was limping from the scene and potentially could be a victim in this case.
You could take a break if you want to, just like keep the picture up. If you want to.
So we'll do a reset. We'll keep the picture up, and we'll come back here in a couple minutes, right?
Yeah.
All right. And we welcome you back. Robert Moses in the Fox 5 Newsroom, 1036. Around an hour and a half or so ago, we're learning that an NYPD detective was shot in his arm and leg in the Whitestone section of Queens, right near the intersection of 21st Road and the Whitestone Expressway Service Road. The detective appears to have been on duty at the time. According to Governor Kathy Hochul, his injuries are not life-threatening. Sources told me that he was alert and conscious. The perpetrator, the alleged gunman who shot him, is in custody. I'm told that he has a lengthy rap sheet for offenses including assaulting an officer as well as robbery, and that was before today. And by the way, he was arrested yesterday, according to sources. So how he was out and free to offend here is yet to be, those questions have yet to be answered. Already, we've been talking about how nothing like this unfolds in a vacuum, especially in an election year. And indeed, the mayoral candidates are already talking about this. Former Governor Andrew Cuomo just posted on X that violence against our police is an attack on all New Yorkers. As mayor, I will always stand with the men and women of the NYPD who put their lives on the line to keep us safe. The mayor himself, of course, is a former NYPD officer, so anytime an officer is injured or killed in the line of duty, this hits especially close to home for him. The mayor is either on his way or presumably at Jamaica Hospital already. Yeah, he posted that he was on his way to the hospital, but that was probably half an hour or so ago. So we assume that he is at the hospital already, and typically what happens is the mayor gets to the hospital, is briefed by police brass who are there, medical personnel, meets with the officer, and then will brief the media on the circumstances surrounding the shooting. In this case, we're getting some of our best clues from what happened from a witness who we spoke to who lives in the neighborhood who told us that from what he saw, a carjacking led to this. Perhaps the detective was trying to break up that carjacking, stop the alleged car thief, and that's when he was shot. The witness tells us that he heard screams, and then a series of gunshots. Some unanswered questions at this point. I mentioned the fact that sources say this alleged gunman has a very lengthy rap sheet, and he was arrested, in fact, just yesterday. How was he able to reoffend today? That's one unanswered question. We're not sure if any NYPD officer was able to return fire. So we don't know if the suspect was shot or wounded in any way. But we do know the suspect is in custody. This is a live look at the scene, 21st Road and the Whitestone Expressway Service Road, just off the Whitestone Expressway itself. Can we show this, the live view 4? Where's that?
Yeah.
I know. Can you re-cue that by chance? Or was that Morrow's camera?
He's feeding
okay.
for turnaround.
So this is, I just want to point out, this is
not live.
This is not live, but we captured this earlier. Our photojournalist Mauro Bertoli, this man being escorted from the scene.
Look at that.
Here's some other new images that we're seeing of a bullet hole in the windshield of a Chrysler van. But I pointed out that that man who was being escorted from the scene, because it sort of lines up with the fact that a man had his car stolen, and this potentially this Toyota could be that stolen car potentially. Has TLC license plates on it, so I don't know if this was, putting two and two together. Was this some kind of a rideshare driver who was carjacked? If you'll forgive me,
You can wrap if you want.
So here's another look at that the Toyota. You can see the TLC license plates on this vehicle, and it looks like the car was crashed. So this may very well be the carjacked vehicle that witness was telling us about, and those TLC plates would suggest that this is some kind of a potentially an Uber, a Lyft, some kind of a rideshare vehicle. Yet to be confirmed, but you can see the bumper there is kind of hanging by a thread there. This is what you're seeing here is just our video from the scene, recorded video previously from the scene. So you'll see occasionally this is another witness, but
Do you want to hear this guy?
Yeah.
we could let's
With shots, because a lot of times you hear the cars backfiring, but you can tell the difference. Or she knew the difference.
What do you think about this in your neighborhood, in your block?
Neighborhood's going down. Whitestones are going down. The carjackings all over the place. A lot of carjackings and dead.
And what do you think about the police officer being shot?
No good. I can't believe that they arrested him. If I was his partner, I would have shot the guy. I wouldn't have locked him up. I would have shot him. People getting away with too much stuff. Now the guy will probably be out in a few hours anyway. It's ridiculous.
They say he just got out for another offense.
No, well, he'll be out in a couple hours and he'll do something else. The way the system goes here, it's ridiculous. It's a joke.
We'll still go ahead and check this out.
Thank you, sir.
You're
What's your
welcome.
name, sir?
Jim.
What's your name? Jim?
Jim.
All right, so you were just listening to a witness who told us about, again, starting to get the story is starting to come into focus here. It appears as though a carjacking led up to the shooting of this NYPD detective, an on-duty NYPD detective. This is some video you're seeing of. So it's not clear. So it looks like officers are looking at two vehicles in particular. This Chrysler van, and then right next to it is a some kind of a Toyota SUV that looks like it was crashed.
Just let me know.
Okay.
Or you can put it on stream.
Okay. Because we're only on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So NYPD detective, on-duty NYPD detective,
Yeah. Whenever you're ready. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks. Man.
shot in the arm and the leg this morning right near the intersection of 21st Road and the Whitestone Expressway Service Road, taken to Jamaica Hospital. He is alert and conscious, expected to make a full recovery. The alleged gunman, the perpetrator, in custody according to sources. As you heard that witness allude to, he has a lengthy rap sheet, sources tell me, for assaulting an officer before today, robbery, and in fact he was just arrested yesterday. And somehow he was out
You can wrap up. And
free
we'll
to offend today.
we could cut out for now, and then we'll see them back at 11:30 for newsroom.
Okay. We are going to, I'm going to step out. We'll keep the picture will stay
For a little bit. Yeah.
stay up for a little while, this live picture. And we'll come back with you at 11:30 for our newsroom live
On Fox Local.
on Fox Local and YouTube. And then, of course, we'll have the noon on television this afternoon. As we leave you, one last time, an NYPD detective shot in his arm and leg this morning right along the Whitestone Expressway, apparently following a carjacking. That officer was taken to Jamaica Hospital. He is alert and conscious, expected to recover. The perpetrator, the alleged gunman, is in custody. He has a lengthy rap sheet. We are going to wrap up for now, but we will be back with you for Newsroom Live at 11:30 and then on air for the noon. For now, Robert Moses in the Fox 5 Newsroom. Have a good day.
Okay, but apparently later on, I'm about to tell you, they had more. As soon as the cops come in, because he's like right in front of like the car, the cop car's already coming. He's just like, yo, get in, let's go get this guy. They zoom off. More cops go by. A minute later, I hear something that sounds like gunshots, but it's something long, something sophisticated sounding. And then I was like, you heard that? My dad's talking to another pedestrian. No, he didn't notice it. I heard it, and I think I knew what it was. And I checked the Citizens app, and then yes, it confirms there was someone that got shot later, and it was an officer. Originally for something because someone's car was stolen.
Do you live close to that house?
It was right in front of my house when I saw the victim.
Do you know the person
I don't know who he is. The person who lives there is us, but it was outside our house. We came outside, heard the noise outside our house.
Okay, the address that we got called to is yours?
No, the site of the carjacking was probably somewhere down here. The victim probably ran for help to the direction of where our house was, and that's where my father and I encountered him while the cops tried to get him.
You actually saw the man?
We saw the victim, yes.
And we got here a little bit late. Can you just describe what you heard? What did you heard right off the top? You said you heard screams?
I was in bed. Some screaming of this victim woke me up. I thought nothing of it at first because I thought it was construction. We always get that here and like whatever, construction, garbage, it's garbage day. I thought it was that. And then it's like more persistent and loud, so my dad opens the door to see what's up. And then it's just poor victim, this poor Asian guy got his car stolen. And then I think he said something about weapon. And just in the nick of time too, the cops come and pick him up to go get the suspect. And then a little bit after that, I heard something loud, like heavy. And then I thought it was gunshots. And then my father didn't hear it. He was talking to someone else, he didn't hear it either. But then I later see on the app that an officer was involved in a shooting.
So